We about to do this, folks. Good morning to you. Good morning, folks. Good morning, folks. Hope everyone's doing well. Get on in here, people. Let's get this thing going on today. Lovely day. Beautiful out here. It feels great. Man, it feels like spring in the winter in Florida. Diane Rosier, good morning to you. Good morning to my cousin, Jocelyn Price, in the building, y'all. Hope everybody is doing a marvelous job in what they're doing. Hope your week has been a productive week. And I hope you've definitely made a difference. That's what it all counts, is making a difference. That's right, Cousin Buzzin'. Thank you for coming in. We about to get this thing on fire, man. Y'all ready? Gotta clear my throat for this one. Y'all ready? Here we go. If it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. Amazing Stephanie. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Anise Richardson. We about to fire this thing up, folks. Listen, before I get started with you guys today, do me two huge favors. Visit two Facebook pages. Visit Jay Lee Speaks, like that page, and visit WAN Global LLC, like that page. We got information that's going to be coming out from both pages. From Jay Lee Speaks page, that's where we do our Monday Motivational Power Talk live feed from. Those of you who missed it this past Monday, we had world-renowned speaker and author and one of the cast members from the movie The Secret, James Arthur Ray. It was fire. So make sure you guys like those two pages, and then the WAN Global LLC, we're getting ready to kick off our Wealth Summit tours starting in Tampa for the Tampa Bay Wealth Summit. So you guys got to get fired up, get ready for it. Got a lot of stuff coming your way, and it's getting ready to happen very fast. So want to give a shout out to those who shares my videos. That's Brother Cooper, Denise George, Diane Rosier, Nisa Hopper, Sylvia Fleming. Did I leave out anybody? I'm gonna have to start carrying around a piece of paper of those who share so that I can highlight you the following day. So forgive me if I did not call your name. Charge it to my head, not to my heart. So I really much appreciate you guys joining in. Antoine Watts shares. Thank you, Brother Antoine Watts, when he come through. So listen, folks, let's get to our topic for today. I want to talk about the 4 phases of learning. I always do this probably like once a year or once every other year, somewhere along the way. The 4 phases of learning. Whatever you do, folks, these 4 phases always take place. And you will become a master at what you do if you follow these 4 phases. Okay? These are natural phases. It's natural. So listen, hope you guys can write some notes down, or you don't have anything to write with, you can put it in the comments. That way you can always come back and revisit it. and then write it down from the comments, okay? Let's talk about the 4 phases of learning. What's the first phase? The first phase is unconsciously incompetent. The first phase is unconsciously incompetent. What does that mean? That means that you don't know what it is that you don't know. You don't know that you don't know it. Here's what happens, folks. When people violate that first phase, they will never learn it. They will never know what they don't know. Here's why. Because they think they know. You don't know it all. Brother Doc Hughes, good morning. So, when you don't know what you don't know, that should lead you to the second phase. Because when you don't know what you don't know, that's going to call for failure. That's what failure comes from. Now, what does the word fail? What's the acronym for fail? F-A-I-L. It's going to make sense. The acronym for fail is first attempt in learning. So this is your first attempt in learning. So therefore, in order for you to fail, you have to be unconsciously incompetent. That's the first phase of the 4 phases of learning. You guys get that? The first phase of the 4 phases of learning is unconsciously incompetent. The only reason why you're going to figure it out is that you fail at it first. That is going to lead to the second phase of learning. What is the second phase? It's called consciously incompetent. Consciously incompetent. The only way you can become consciously incompetent is that you have to first fail. Remember, fail. You got to go through the first phase, which is unconsciously incompetent, which means you failed at something. Fail first attempt in learning. So now that you have failed, you had left the first phase of the 4 phases of learning, which is now consciously incompetent. Now you know what you don't know. Come on, man. Y'all not getting it. Now the second phase, consciously incompetent. Now you know what you don't know. Now you have to do your work. That's where the real work comes into play. Now you have to get past that second phase now. You have to study. You have to learn. You need mentors. See, this is all this comes into play. You need mentors. You need to start reading books. Right? When you fail at something, you do your research so that you can never, so that you cannot fail at it again. Right? So that is vital to our growth, people. See? The problem is too many people think they know what they don't know. And guess what happens after that? Chaos. All hell breaks loose. That's when you know what hits the fan. People don't stay in their lane. See, that's what people need. That's where the term stay in your lane come from. Stay in your lane. Stay at what you know. See, now you got the second phase. Consciously incompetent. Now you know what you don't know. Now here's the key. Once you fix that, you reading, you're studying, you're watching some videos of people who are succeeding in areas you want to succeed in, that grows your knowledge, doesn't it? So now what happens? You move from the second phase of learning to the third phase of learning. The third phase is what? The third phase of learning, folks, is consciously competent. Consciously competent. Now you're starting to make production. You're starting to produce. You're starting to make some differences now because you're consciously competent. You know the job. You know what it's going, you know what to do to keep from failing again, right? You know what you're doing to keep from failing again. So the third phase is consciously competent. Now, guess what happens on that level, folks? You still have to read. You still have to study. You still need to be mentored. You still need to do everything that you need to be done to do to keep increasing your knowledge. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough said the number one rule to money is knowledge. You see, he also said prosperity begins in the mind and ends in the purse. So the third phase of learning is consciously competent. So now you know what you know. And you know that you know it. Diane Rosette, it looks like it's correct. So you guys understanding where I'm going with this? You know what you know now. And as you keep growing, you keep reading, you keep doing the things to keep yourself succeeding, to keep yourself on a higher level, to keep moving up, keep growing. You eventually, and then also what comes with consciously competent is practicing. You have to do it repetitiously. You have to do it over and over and over again, folks. The championship teams, whether it's NBA, NFL, National Hockey League, soccer, baseball, they win because they practice a winning formula over and over and over and over and over again. See, that's what happens when you are consciously competent. I used to play in several bands when I lived in DC. But they didn't realize a lot of bands would try to learn new material in practice. No. You learn new material at home and you perfect it in practice. You learn it at home on your own time. That's your homework. Learn it at home. And when you come to band practice, you are practicing it. You're perfecting it. So you got to practice what you know. Consciously competent. And when you practice it long enough, you will leave that phase of consciously competent and you will move into a new phase, the fourth phase. What is the fourth phase? Thank you, Brother Doc. What is the fourth phase of the four phases of learning? The fourth phase, and good morning, Goldie Perry. Thank you for coming in. The fourth phase of the four phases of learning is unconsciously competent. Wow. Unconsciously competent. What does that mean? That means that you know what you do so well because of so much practice, you can now do it in your sleep. Brother Doc Hughes is one of the top bass players in Washington, D.C. A very short list of top bass players. He's in that short list. He can play the bass in his sleep. He can play the bass. You can blindfold him and he still pluck the bass as if you looking right at him, as if he's looking at the instrument as he playing. That's how awesome that dude is on the bass. You guys understand what I'm saying? So that's the fourth phase of learning. The fourth phase is unconsciously competent. Denise George just made it through in the building. So let me backtrack and do a summary of what we just covered on the 4 phases of learning. The first phase is unconsciously incompetent, which means you don't know what you don't know. You have to fail first. And fail, the acronym for fail is first attempt in learning. That's why unconsciously incompetent is the first phase of learning, because that's your first attempt. The second phase, consciously incompetent. But that means you now know what you don't know because you failed first. You have to do your homework, do your research, do some reading. Okay? And then you move to this third phase, which is consciously competent. You now know what you know. You have to practice what you know. And when you practice long enough, you will leave that third phase of learning, which is consciously competent, and you will get into the fourth phase, which is unconsciously competent, which states and which means that you can now do what you know in your sleep. You don't even need to be conscious to do it. It just comes natural to you now. So those are the 4 phases of learning, folks. Hope this is very helpful. If this helps you, please put that in the comments. Good morning, Anne-Marie Duncan. Put that in the comments if this is very helpful to you folks. And I really much appreciate you coming in and joining this morning. Do me a favor and share this video, because most people need to share this. Now listen folks, you violate those 4 phases of learning if you have an ego issue. If you have an ego issue, you will violate those 4 phases of learning and you ain't gonna learn jack shit. You will continually fail and never learn from the failures because you think you know it all. You can't think you know it all, folks. You have to always stay in student mode. Always stay in the mode of learning. The most successful people in the world are people who crave learning, right? So, with that being said, share this video with as many, share it in some groups. Share this video in some groups, if you will. Share it on your timeline. Whatever it takes. Really much appreciate it. Those of you who came in a little late, watch the video again and then share it. Thank you, Coasty Cloud, for coming in. Good morning to you. So, folks, that's all my time. I got to get back to the grind. I want you to do me one last huge favor, and that is to sing like no one can hear you. Dance like no one can see you. Love like you've never been hurt. And live like it's heaven on earth. I'm Jay Lee. I love you, and the world needs you. So stop that damn texting and driving. Peace and blessings, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.